My name is Sophia Anderson. I'm 32 years old, and I build things. Not houses, though I respect anyone who can frame a wall straighter than I can draw one on paper. I build stability. I started in the mailroom of a financial consulting firm fresh out of college. I stayed late. I volunteered for projects no one wanted. I learned systems, patterns, weaknesses. 5 years later, I became a senior analyst. I built my savings the same way: rice, beans, and discipline. Every dollar saved was another brick. Every promotion was reinforcement steel. You don't get the life you want by wishing for it. You build it, brick by painful brick. Daniel Carter was supposed to be helping me build. We'd been together for 3 years. In the beginning, I thought we balanced each other. I was structured. He was spontaneous. I was long-term planning. He was present moment energy. I mistook contrast for compatibility. Daniel worked part-time at a boutique lifestyle store downtown. His paycheck covered his clothes, his dinners out, his hobbies. I covered everything else. The rent on our beautiful 2-bedroom apartment, utilities, car payments, groceries, subscriptions, the emergency fund. I didn't resent it, not at first. I saw it as an investment in our future. He saw it, I now realize, as his comfort package. The shift wasn't dramatic, it never is. It was in the small things. When I stayed late finishing a critical report, he'd text, "Are you seriously still at work?" When I came home exhausted on a Saturday, he'd sigh because I didn't want to go to bottomless mimosa brunch. My sacrifice wasn't a contribution, it was an inconvenience. And the person most inconvenienced by my work schedule was Alyssa Grant, his work wife. He'd laugh when he said it. "She just gets me, Soph." Lunch breaks got longer. Then they turned into drinks. Then she started dropping by when I was working late. I don't believe in dramatic accusations. I believe in data. So I observed. I collected. Patterns don't lie. The final data point arrived on a Wednesday evening. I was putting away laundry. Routine. Mechanical. That's when I saw it. A dark gray women's hoodie, folded badly, shoved behind his jackets. It wasn't mine. I knew immediately. The brand was one Alyssa wore constantly. I'd seen it in tagged photos. I pulled it out. It smelled faintly of her perfume, the same scent that had started appearing on Daniel's clothes after inventory nights. I didn't feel rage. I felt something colder, the weight of a failed investment. 3 years, my money, my time, my future, all poured into a structure that had termites in the foundation. I waited. He came home around 8, flushed and smiling. He stopped when he saw me sitting on the couch, the hoodie folded neatly in my lap. "This was in the closet," I said evenly. His smile faltered. For a split second, panic. Then dismissal. He rolled his eyes. "Are you serious right now?" He grabbed the hoodie. "It's Alyssa's. She was cold when she walked me home. I gave her my jacket. She gave me this. So what if I hung out with her? We were working late anyway." There it was. Casual. Entitled. My long hours weren't sacrificed. They were his alibi. I studied his face, the tilt of his chin, the complete absence of remorse. And the builder inside me took over. When a structure is unsound, you don't decorate it. You demolish it. "You're right," said the manager. He blinked. "I do work late." I stood up. "I work late to build a life, Daniel, not to stand here and watch you ruin it." He stopped. "You're being dramatic." Maybe. Or maybe I was finally being logical. He thought we were about to argue. He thought this would end in a few days of silence and an apology that wasn't really an apology. He had no idea I was already drafting blueprints for my exit. I walked into my office and closed the door. He kept talking outside, accusing me of being insecure, controlling. I didn't respond, because demolition requires focus, and I had just begun tearing down everything. The 48 hours after that conversation were some of the calmest of my life. Daniel was seen through in a few long days. He went to work, he went to lunch. He even texted me Friday afternoon. "Are we still being weird, or are you over it?" I didn't respond. He mistook silence for indecision. It was precision. While he was giving me his space, I was executing a full strategic withdrawal. The biggest chain tying me to him wasn't emotional. It was contractual. Our apartment, a beautiful 2-bedroom in a desirable part of the city. High ceilings, floor-to-ceiling windows. The kind of place that looks impressive in photos and expensive in reality. The lease was solely in my name, my income, my credit score, my liability. He was listed as an occupant, nothing more. That fact had once felt like responsibility. Now it felt like leverage. Thursday morning, 9:02 a.m., I called the property management office. "Brenda speaking." Brenda was efficient, direct. She respected tenants who paid on time and didn't create drama, which meant she respected me. "Hi, Brenda, it's Sophia Anderson from 4B. "Oh, Sophia, always on time with rent. What can I do for you?" I kept my tone corporate. My domestic partner and I are separating. I'll be vacating the apartment. He wishes to remain. I need to know the procedure for transferring full legal and financial responsibility of the lease from my name to his. There was a pause. Well, he would need to qualify on his own, Brenda said carefully. Based on the income listed when you applied, I'm not sure he would. Obstacle anticipated. I understand, I replied. I have a proposal. Silence. I am willing to prepay the next 2 months' rent in full, immediately, in exchange for a lease transfer addendum removing my name from all future liability effective upon his signature. Brenda inhaled slowly. You'd pay for 2 months on me even though you're leaving? Yes. You're serious? Completely. It wasn't generosity. It was severance. It bought me freedom. She typed for a few seconds. That would remove risk on our end, she admitted. If he signs, and we receive payment, the lease can transfer. Draw up the addendum, I said. It'll be ready tomorrow. When I hung up, I didn't feel vindictive. I felt clear. Back at my desk, I opened my laptop and reviewed our bank statements from the past 12 months. Rent, utilities, insurance, groceries, streaming services, dining, travel. I created a spreadsheet, cold numbers in black and white. 87%. That was my contribution. His was 13. And yet somehow I had been made to feel like I wasn't doing enough. The spreadsheet wasn't for him. It was for me, a reminder of what I was reclaiming. That evening, while he was out having inventory drinks, I started packing. Not loudly, not angrily, methodically. High-quality boxes, heavy-duty tape. I started with my office, my books, my framed certificates, my laptop equipment, each item wrapped carefully. Then my clothes, my personal documents, jewelry, photos. I stacked the boxes in the spare bedroom. Out of sight, I became a ghost in my own home. He noticed nothing. Friday afternoon, I picked up the lease transfer addendum. 1 page, clear language. As of the date of signing, Sophia Anderson is released from all financial and legal obligations related to apartment 4B. Daniel Carter assumes full and sole responsibility for the remainder of the lease term. Simple, clean, powerful. That night he was getting ready to go out again. Music playing, cologne in the air. I walked into the living room holding the document and a pen. I softened my expression, let a hint of fatigue show. Hey, I said. The leasing office sent over the annual renewal paperwork. They need it back by Monday. Can you sign? He frowned slightly. Renewal already? It's just the initial intent form, I lied smoothly. Standard procedure. You just sign at the bottom as the other listed occupant. He glanced at the page. Dense legal language. Boring. Unimportant. Exactly the kind of thing he hated reading. He sighed dramatically. Fine, where? I handed him the pen. He didn't read it. Not really. His eyes skimmed. His mind was elsewhere. He scribbled his name at the bottom. Daniel Carter. Bold, confident, careless. He handed it back. There, happy now? I looked at his signature for a moment, then folded the paper neatly. Ecstatic, I said quietly. I walked into my office, closed the door, scanned the document, and emailed it to Brenda. Within 10 minutes, she responded, Received. Lease officially transferred upon processing tomorrow morning. Thank you. The trap wasn't emotional. It was administrative. He thought we were navigating a rough patch. He had no idea he had just signed for his independence and his bill. Saturday morning arrived with unnatural stillness. Daniel left early for brunch. He barely looked at me. Are we still doing the Cold War thing? He muttered, pulling on his jacket. I didn't answer. He rolled his eyes and walked out the door. The moment the elevator doors closed behind him, I moved. The moving truck arrived at noon. 2 men in navy uniforms. Efficient. Professional. Detached. They didn't ask questions. They didn't need context. To them, this was just another apartment. To me, it was a controlled demolition site. I opened the spare bedroom. Row after row of neatly stacked boxes. My life compressed into cardboard. The movers worked quickly. Within an hour, everything that belonged to me was downstairs in the truck. I did one final sweep of the apartment. The walls were bare now. My framed degrees were gone. My bookshelf empty. The living room still looked full. Couch, coffee table, TV, but it felt hollow. Everything left behind belonged to him, or would soon become his responsibility. As the movers secured the truck doors, I heard it. His laugh. Daniel's car pulled into the parking lot. He stepped out, still smiling at something on his phone. Then he saw the truck. The smile disappeared. He ended his call mid-sentence. What is this? He demanded, striding toward me. Sophia, what are you doing? I'm moving out, I said simply. He blinked. You're moving out? Yes. Over a stupid hoodie? His voice cracked between disbelief and anger. You're seriously this dramatic? I looked at him steadily. It was never about the hoodie. he scoffed. Then what, exactly? It was about the pattern, I replied. The dismissal. The entitlement. The fact that while I was working to build something stable for us, you were entertaining another woman in it. She's just a friend. The same line, slightly louder. Maybe, I said calmly, but your reaction told me everything I needed to know. He ran a hand through his hair. You're blowing this way out of proportion. Am I? I reached into my coat pocket, pulled out a folded copy of the lease transfer addendum. I handed it to him. I don't think I am. He frowned, unfolding the paper. His eyes skimmed the first line, then went back. Slower. He read it again. And again. Color drained from his face. What is this? He whispered. Lease transfer, I said evenly. You signed it yesterday. His head snapped up. What? You are now the sole legal and financial party responsible for apartment 4B rent, utilities, everything. He stared at the paper like it had rewritten itself. No, I didn't agree to this. You signed it. You tricked me. I tilted my head slightly. I presented you with the legal document, I said. You chose not to read it. His breathing quickened. You can't just do this. I can, I replied quietly, and I did. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. I can't afford this place. I let that hang between us. That, I said gently, is not my problem anymore. His jaw tightened. You're punishing me. No, I corrected. I'm transferring responsibility. The words felt precise, accurate. He looked around the apartment as if seeing it for the first time. The high ceilings, the modern kitchen, the oversized windows, the life he loved showcasing. This life, I continued, gesturing lightly, has a cost. I've been paying it. He swallowed hard. You're serious. I work late, I said softly, picking up the final box I had left for myself. To build a life, not to stand around and watch you ruin it. He had no response. No eye roll. No smug laugh. Just silence. The movers opened the truck for me. I placed my last box inside, closed the door. Daniel stood there in the parking lot, clutching the paper that had just become his anchor. For the first time since I'd known him, he looked small. Not angry, not defensive, just unprepared. I got into the cab. The truck pulled away. I didn't look back. Demolition complete. The first month passed quietly. Too quietly. Brenda confirmed the lease transfer was fully processed. My 2-month prepaid buffer was applied. Legally, financially, I was untouchable. Daniel, however, was still living inside the illusion that something would save him. According to a mutual friend, he called the property management office within days of my departure. Apparently, he cried. He claimed confusion, said he hadn't understood what he signed. Brenda, I'm told, was unmoved. The document is legally binding, Mr. Carter. Rent is due on the 1st. No softness, no loophole, no rescue. Reality has a very flat tone. The second month was when panic set in. Daniel's part-time income covered his car payment and his lifestyle, not a 2-bedroom luxury apartment. He scrambled, posted online for roommates, interviewed strangers. But desperation has a scent. People can smell instability. No one committed. That's when he went to Alyssa. Of course he did. From what I heard, again through the efficient grapevine of shared acquaintances, the conversation did not go as he expected. He had enjoyed the lunches, the flirtation, the ego boost of being someone's escape. But when Daniel presented her with numbers, rent, utilities, shared responsibility, she reportedly laughed. I didn't sign up to be your landlord, Dan. Fun without responsibility has an expiration date. She stopped answering his calls soon after, blocked him, disappeared. The pattern was almost poetic. He had enjoyed benefits without cost. Now he was alone with the bill. When my prepaid cushion expired, the first rent payment under his sole responsibility came due. He missed it. The management company began the eviction process immediately. Formal notice, deadlines, late fees, legal language, no emotion. I imagine that was the first time the apartment stopped feeling impressive and started feeling heavy. Eviction records are permanent stains. Within weeks, he was forced to move out. The furniture we had chosen together, the sofa, the dining table, the TV, had to be sold for far less than their value. Some items went into storage his parents paid for. Eventually, he moved back in with them. 32 years old, back in his childhood bedroom. Alyssa gone. Apartment gone. Comfort gone. What remained was consequence. As for me, I moved into a smaller 1-bedroom. Clean lines. Affordable. Peaceful. It doesn't echo with arguments. It doesn't hold ghosts. The money I no longer spent subsidizing another adult accelerated everything. My savings grew. My house fund expanded months ahead of schedule. The emotional relief was even more significant than the financial one. There's something profoundly stabilizing about not being resented for your ambition, not being mocked for your discipline, For the first time in years, I worked late without guilt, without commentary, without eye rolls waiting at home. Was it revenge? No, revenge is loud. What I did was structural correction. Daniel saw my long hours as his opportunity. I turned them into my exit strategy. I didn't scream. I didn't smash dishes. I didn't blast accusations on social media. I simply handed him the cost of the life he had been casually enjoying. And when that cost arrived, it was heavier than he imagined. 6 months later, I heard he still blames me, says I overreacted, that I tricked him. But there is no trick in a signature freely given. There is only accountability deferred.